Welcome to Math, Science and Me. Today we are going to study photosynthesis. Photo means light. Production of the food with the help of light is called photosynthesis. Let us see in detail. Green plants produce their own food with the help of sunlight, water and carbon dioxide is called photosynthesis. Sunlight they get from the sun, water they get from the soil through roots, and carbon dioxide they get from the air. Okay, this is the raw material required for the photosynthesis. Okay, that is they use carbon dioxide, water, and they produce the food. That food is called glucose, and they also produce oxygen. This is called photosynthesis, and with the help of sunlight. Who is trapping the sunlight? Chlorophyll present in the leaves will trap the sunlight. Okay, now actually photosynthesis occurs in the chloroplast, which is present in the leaf. Okay, let us see the detailed structure of leaf now. Okay, see, this is the leaf you have. This is called a lamina of the leaf. See, the broad surface is called lamina of your leaf, and this is called your midrib. See, you can clearly notice the midrib here, and you have veins here. See your veins. You can see notice the veins here. These are the veins, and this is a midrib. This is a midrib. It's a leaf stack, and this is your lamina. Okay, see here. So leaf looks very thin, but it has got several layers here. So upper and lower surface it has got epidermis. Upper and lower surface it has got epidermis. So you can see the clear structure of the leaf over here. As we have seen, it has got upper epidermis and lower epidermis. Okay, and then it has got a cuticle layer above the upper epidermis. The function of the cuticle layer to stop water evaporation. And your upper epidermis and lower epidermis protect the inner layers. The function of the upper epidermis and lower epidermis is to protect the inner layers. These are the two epidermis, this one and this one. This middle one is called a mesophyll. That is, mesophylls means middle layer. We have two mesophylls here. The one is called a polysaid mesophyll. They are arranged in the fence-like order. You can see, clearly notice they are arranged in the fence-like order. And you have a spongy mesophyll. They are arranged freely. This is spongy mesophyll, and this is polysaid mesophyll. Okay. Yeah. Now we have two vascular tissues, that is xylem thick-walled and phloem thin-walled. Xylem conducts the water and phloem used to conduct the food. That is, food prepared in the leaves will be conducted to the rest of the part of the plant body by the phloem. Okay, I hope it is clear. That is, you have an epidermis to protect the inner layer of the leaf. You have a cuticle layer, a waxy layer above the epidermis especially above the upper epidermis to stop water evaporation. You have mesophylls. One is spongy, another one is polysaid. Polysaids are arranged like fence. And then you have xylem and phloem. Xylem to conduct the water and phloem to conduct the food. Okay. Now let us see here. How these raw material, what are the leaf adaptation to get the raw material? The raw material required for the photosynthesis is carbon dioxide, water and sunlight. How do we get carbon dioxide? How do the leaf gets the carbon dioxide? Leaf get this carbon dioxide through the stomata. This is the opening in the lower surface of the leaf, has got an opening called a stomata. Okay, this is guarded by the guard cell. Guard cell means when to open the stomata, when to not open the stoma is decided by the guard cell. Okay, this is the opening in the lower surface of the leaf, has got an opening called stomata, where the work of the stomata is to diffuse the carbon dioxide in and oxygen out. Okay, to allow the carbon dioxide in and diffuse out the oxygen. Okay, now see here, carbon dioxide enters to this stomata. There is an air gap, and this air gap is interconnected, the air gap between the spongy mesophylls. So carbon dioxide entered from this place and it will reach to the particular mesophyll where actually the photosynthesis takes place. Now you can ask me the question, why in the mesophyll photosynthesis takes place? You can clearly notice here, the upper epidermis does not contain any chloroplast, and similarly lower epidermis does not contain any chloroplast except the stoma. You have a chloroplast present in the mesophylls. Okay, Chlorophyll. So always remember photosynthesis occurs in the chlorophyll. So this contains the chlorophyll. That is why it photosynthesis occurs here. Okay. So carbon dioxide has to reach this particular cell, especially this cell where the photosynthesis occurs. Okay. The next one is carbon dioxide enters to the these mesophyll layers through the diffusion. Diffusion is nothing but movement of ion from high concentration to the lower concentration. When carbon dioxide enters here, carbon dioxide concentration is high over here. It moves here from here to this cell because it is a diffusion process. Is nothing but movement of ions from higher concentration to lower concentration. So it moves from higher concentration to the lower concentration. Similarly, water. As we know that water we get from the roots. From roots to the leaves, xylem carries the water. From xylem to the cells, the water is moved by the process of osmosis. Osmosis is the process of movement of water from higher concentration to the lower concentration. Okay, it is a movement of water from higher concentration to the lower concentration. Okay. Next raw material required is your sunlight. How do we get the sunlight? See, as I told you, upper epidermis does not contain any chlorophyll. Even the lower epidermis does not contain any chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is present in the mesophyll layers. So this is the transparent. This layer become a transparent, and then the sunlight reaches the mesophills, polysaccharide mesophyll as a spongy mesophills. So sunlight, these contain the chlorophyll. Chlorophyll absorb the sunlight. They are the one who traps the sunlight. They absorb the sunlight. Especially, I can clearly say that polysaccharide mesophyll is the one which absorbs the maximum sunlight. That is why the arrangement is like that. Okay, they are arranged like this so that they can penetrate easily. So it absorbs the maximum sunlight, and then the spongy light. Okay, spongy mesophyll also absorbs the sunlight. So by using all these raw materials, your leaf produces food. Let us see what are the uses of end product of your photosynthesis. End product are glucose and oxygen. See, glucose used by the plant, a certain amount of glucose, because glucose is used by the plant. Plant produces the food for itself. First it is producing the food for itself. Okay, certain amount of glucose is used by the plant itself. Okay, for the release of energy, the certain amount of glucose is used. Rest of the glucose is stored in the form of starch. Rest of the glucose is stored in the form of starch. Now you can ask the question to me, why it is stored in the form of starch? Why not is not in the glucose? Because glucose is a very active element. Glucose is a very active element. Okay, so it dissolves in the water. It may get lost sometime, or it may involve in a chemical reaction unnecessarily. So that purpose it is used in the starch. So what is nothing but a starch? Starch is nothing but starch is made up of many glucoses. Okay, the starch is made up of many glucoses. Okay, so certain rest of the glucose is used stored in the form of starch, which we use. These starches we use. Okay, normally. Okay, then see here. Actually, you have a plant. The glucose is produced in the plant. Okay. As I told you, glucose is a very reactive element, and it is soluble in water. So it may involve unnecessary chemical reactions and all. So this glucose is transposed to the rest of the body. Has to be transported to the rest of the body. It may be roots and some other part. Okay, for this root stem. Okay, the glucose is produced in the leaves, but it has to be transported to the rest of the part of the body. They are not transport rest of the body in the form of glucose. They are transferred to the rest of the body in the form of sucrose. Glucose is transferred to the rest of the body in the form of sucrose. Okay, sucrose is another form of form of sugar. Okay, it is less reactive than your glucose. Glucose is converted to sucrose, and then it is transferred to the rest of the part of the body. Okay, it is less reactive than the glucose. Okay, these are the things. Okay, now these are the main end product of this your photosynthesis. Now another one for the end product you can go is oxygen. Oxygen is used by the plant for the respiration. Certain amount of oxygen is used by the plant for the respiration. Rest of the oxygen is diffuses out from the stomata. Excess oxygen is diffuses out from the stomata, which we use for the respiration. Human beings or animal, any other animals use for the respiration. Certain amounts of the oxygen is used by the plants itself for the respiration, and excess oxygen is removed from the stomata. Okay. Now my question is, what are the limiting factors of your photosynthesis? What are the limiting factor? What is necessary and how much is? What are the limiting factors of photosynthesis? First one is sunlight. Okay, first one is sunlight. In the dim light, photosynthesis rate is slow. If you increase the intensity, the photosynthesis rate becomes higher, and with certain limit, that is, if it is a maximum sunlight, then the photosynthesis rate is, so if it is certain limit, the photosynthesis rate is high. What if sunlight is more? Okay, if the sunlight is more than this, like the maximum limit, the certain limit, a certain maximum limit, the photosynthesis is high. If it reach above the maximum limit, then there is no photosynthesis occurs. Why? Because excess sunlight kills the chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is the one which traps the sunlight. If the excess sunlight kills the chlorophyll, means maximum sunlight will not be. If sun shines fast, sun gives more light, okay, then photosynthesis not occur. Okay, if the sunlight is more than it is, and photosynthesis does not occur. It has to be in a maximum. It has to be in certain limit. Okay, because excess sunlight kills the chlorophyll. Okay, next limiting factor is your carbon dioxide. Okay, as we know, air contains carbon dioxide 0.04%. Okay, 0.4%, 0.4%. If you give 0.08, or it will may reach 0.20 also. If you give more carbon dioxide, your photosynthesis become faster until where a certain limit. Should not be more than 0.20. That means you cannot give more than 0.20% of your carbon dioxide. You know, it's a certain limit only, a certain maximum limit. After that, a certain limit, your photosynthesis will not occur. You have to give the carbon. If the less carbon dioxide is there, photosynthesis rate is less. But if it is more, also the photosynthesis rate is photosynthesis does not occur. Next limiting factor is your temperature. Say temperature. Actually, the ideal temperature for the photosynthesis should be less than 40 degrees Celsius. It should be less than 40 degrees Celsius. Okay. What if it is more than 40 degrees Celsius? If it is more than 40 degrees Celsius, as I told you, you have a stomata in the lower end of the leaf. You can clearly see here. Yeah, this guard cell will close the stomata. Okay, guard cell will close the stomata if the temperature is high. Why? Because it feels that the excess of water evaporation takes place. Work of your guard cell, your stomata is to transmission of water outside. Okay, that is also there. Okay, it diffuses of the water. Aspiration, right? Yeah, it diffuses out to water also. Okay, so guard cell will close if the temperature is more. So if the guard cell is closed, temperature is more. If the temperature means guard cell closes means it will not access the carbon dioxide, right? So that's why excess of temperature is also is not good for your photosynthesis. Okay, excess of temperature also is not good for your photosynthesis. These are the limiting factors. Limiting factors is one is temperature, sunlight, and your carbon dioxide. If you give more carbon dioxide, certain the maximum limit, photosynthesis will not be occurred. And if the sunlight is more, then also photosynthesis will not occur. If the excess of temperature is also, then the photosynthesis rate will decrease. Okay, let us see what are the different minerals are required. Let us go first see the nitrogen. See, plants make amino acid from the sugars. Sugars means whatever the sugars they have, they make an amino acid. Now they have to build from this amino acid, they have to build protein. Okay, for that they use nitrogen. With the help of nitrogen and amino acid, they build the proteins. Okay. Another important thing is for the plant require is chlorophyll. For the chlorophyll, they require nitrogen and magnesium. They use nitrogen and magnesium to build your chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is built from nitrogen and magnesium. So that is why the farmers always use NPK fertilization. NPK fertilizers means, what is the full form of NPK? That is nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium fertilizers. Okay, in case if the deficiency occurs, you may be having seen the yellow leaves. If the deficiency of nitrogen occurs, you may have yellow leaves. If the deficiency of magnesium occurs, then you have yellowing between the veins of the leaves. Okay. If the deficiency of nitrogen occurs, then you have yellow leaves. If the deficiency of magnesium occurs, you have yellowing between the veins of the leaves. Okay. This is an experiment to show that a chlorophyll is necessary for the photosynthesis. For this, we have to take the variegated leaves. Here we have many. Okay, let me take one. Okay. So what we have to do this is, we have to keep these leaves in the sunlight for few days. After few days, we have to perform the starch test. After performing the starch test, we can notice the blue-black color only in the green part of the leaf, that is over here, not here. This indicates that chlorophyll is necessary for photosynthesis, because the green part of the leaves where starch is produced, that is why it is the chlorophyll is necessary for the photosynthesis. Now let us see the starch test. That is nothing but to show that green leaves produce food, the starch during the photosynthesis. First you have to take the leaf and put the leaf in hot boiling the water to kill the enzyme. You have to kill the enzyme by putting the leaf in hot boiling water to kill enzymes. Okay. Next, you put the leaf, remove the leaf for around 30 seconds. You have to put in the hot boiling water. Then you remove the leaf and put in the alcohol to kill chlorophyll. Okay. Then now the leaf will be little brittle. Then you have to wash it to remove the alcohol as well as to make the leaf soft. Okay. Then you have to put the iodine solution. After, if you put iodine solution, the leaf will turn blue black. This indicates that a starch is present in the leaf. Okay. You have to take the leaf, put in the hot boiling water to kill the enzymes, and then you remove around 30 seconds. You have to put the hot boiling water. Then you remove the leaf and put in the alcohol to kill the chlorophyll. Remove it. Now the leaf will turn brittle. Make it soft by washing it in the water, and similarly it will remove the excess of alcohol also. Then put the iodine drops on the leaf. You will find that the leaf will turn to blue black solution, blue black color. This indicates that the leaf has contained the starch. Thank you. If you find this video informative, please do like, subscribe and share.